Difference
with BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
For Make a Difference today, we're hearing about a charity which helps children of the UK fashion and textile families who are struggling financially. Anna Pangbourne is director of Fashion and Textile Children's Trust, and I'm pleased to say she's with us in the studio today. Good afternoon, Anna.
Hi, Melvin. Thanks so much.
Look, hands up. I have to say I've not heard of your trust before, so tell me the background to it.
Yeah, so the charity itself is 166 years old. Charles Dickens was our Chairman of Appeal, and the Queen is our patron. So although you might not have heard about us, we've got some wonderful heritage.
My word. Okay, so what sort of things are you there to do? Who are you there to help and support?
So we give financial support to families who work right across the fashion and textile industry. And when we say fashion and textile, that could be any of your high street stores, so M&S, Next, Debenhams and so on. It could be manufacturers, it could be a weaver in Scotland, soft furnishings, textiles, footwear, lingerie, carpets, you name it, we probably do it. So it's as wide and varied as that. And that includes supermarkets that sell clothing as well.
Because I suppose, and I'm guilty here, I put my hands up and say, when you talk about fashion and textile, you tend to think of high-end fashion. So I'm picturing people on the catwalk and thinking, all these designers, do they need financial support? But that's not what we're talking about, is it?
Exactly. And I think that's the concept that, a lot of people have, is that it's the sort of glitz and glamour of the fashion world. But we are really talking about those who work in the industry and who work on the shop floor, manufacturing, distribution and so on. And it's those families in particular that we want to reach.
And many of those will be low-income families, won't they?
But yes, potentially. But I think, the support we give is focusing on the home in particular. So when things go wrong in the home, so it can be bereavement, it could be financial hardship, sickness, ill health of the child, ill health of the parent and so on. Things that just go wrong in life. When the fridge breaks down, your child needs new shoes for the school term, and then your partner is on reduced wages, and suddenly you start to get that sort of vortex, if you like, where, the parent is really struggling. Then where do they turn to next? And that's exactly where we can help. So
and right across the country, you're helping people here in Lincolnshire?
Yeah, absolutely. So we helped a mum recently who used to work at Next. She actually had to give up work to look after her son who was born with a neurological condition, and we were able to help with a fab grant. It was for a specialist tricycle for the child to be able to use, and she said the difference that it's made to that family, not just the child but the knock-on effect with the family as well, and just the whole process in terms of applying to our charity was very straightforward, and we genuinely care.
And so it's not necessarily somebody still working in the industry, it could be somebody in hardship who has worked in the industry and needs that support afterwards.
That's correct. So they have to work for at least a year, either currently employed or within the last 9 years. And in fact, some of the companies I've been meeting with over the last few years, that's really important because they've had to leave because of their own ill health or taking care of a child and so on. So as long as they can show that they worked at that company for at least a year, they can still get in touch.
Does the industry support your trust? I'm just thinking, where this comes from, or are you a charity? How does it work?
Yeah, so we are a registered charity, and we do get support from the industry. So we receive donations from some of the big retailers, so M&S, Next, John Lewis and so on as well, which is fantastic. And we also do fundraising as well. So we've got places in the London Marathon if anybody wants to run for us. We're willing to take you, Melvin, if you want to.
Yeah, so you've seen the state of it. I don't think I get round.
But yeah, no, we're always looking to, and for us, it's more about, there's 180,000 charities in the UK. So when somebody chooses our charity to fundraise for us, that for us is amazing. So it's regardless if somebody raises, £5 or £5,000, the point is that they've chosen our charity, and we welcome people to fundraise for us.
I love your story and I love your enthusiasm, because you've just been telling me, because you've got some time in Lincoln at the moment, you've been round to some of the shops just spreading the word, haven't you?
Yeah, literally. And
what reaction did you get?
Really good, and I always worry about, a security going to walk me out when I go into some of these stores.
Bad woman arrived.
Take her out. But literally this morning I've gone into Marks & Spencer's, Primark, Next, New Look, Topman, Debenhams, Dorothy Perkins, Mothercare and Sports Direct, and I literally go in and say, this is this charity, and the first thing I say is, I'm not asking for a donation, because that's the first thing they think you're going to ask for. And I say, this is what we do, this is how we work. If you have employees in your store with children under the age of 18 who just might need that bit of extra financial help, get them to get in touch with us.
Had any of them heard of your charity? No, that's interesting, isn't it? So this is why we need to get that message out there to people.
Absolutely.
So in terms of how you help and how you support families, is there a limit as to how much money you would give? Do you assess who needs what? And how do you make a decision as to who gets the help?
Yeah, absolutely. So every inquiry that we receive, it's on a case-by-case basis. So we treat every family with a huge amount of care and guidance and support, because we know that it takes a lot of courage to get in touch with the charity. And we try and say to them, put that to one side and let's focus on the help that you need. So we look at the total household income to see what benefits they're receiving, and look to see what they're requesting, the grant that they're requesting. And then we'll make an assessment at that point and look to see what they need and try and give them a total package, to make sure that we're covering as much as we can within that grant. And then we go through the application process as well, so they have to fill in the application form. Once they get back to us, and providing everything's in good shape, we can get a grant to them within 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
Not too complicated, because I know what puts some people off applying for things is it's complicated forms, it's going online and not understanding what's going on there, but it's quite straightforward.
Absolutely. And if anybody's got any queries, we would just love them to get in touch, and it's super easy. It's 0300 123 9002 if they want to give us a ring as well.
Fantastic. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. And, any idea how many people you'd have helped in recent times? I mean, this is helping a lot of people in terms of grants each year.
Yeah, no, totally. So in terms of children, we support nearly 700 children every year, but we're ambitious about that and want to, by 2021, be helping at least 1,000 children. And the more we do these kind of visits and have these types of opportunities, Melvin, which are just amazing, the more the word gets out there. And it is word of mouth, it's social media, everything that we can. We're a tiny team of 6, so we have to, it's like standing on top of a mountain with a megaphone trying to get our message out there. So but we're getting there, and I think it's with closures such as Karen Millen, all of their stores are closed right across the UK, so we get straight on that, immediately getting in touch with the administrators, making sure that we're getting that word out there and that we're here to help.
Fantastic. Is there a website we can go to as well as a phone number?
Absolutely. So it's www.ftct.org.uk, so ftct.org.uk, and then as soon as they go to the homepage, click on to read more, and it just gives background in terms of our grants, and then they make their way onto the inquiry form.
Fantastic. And that phone number again?
Is 0300 123 9002.
Anna, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us on the show
so
today.
Much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire Travel.